This story is not only one of oppression, but of defiance, resilience, and extraordinary transformation. While systems were designed to dehumanize and suppress, Black Americans responded not just with protest, but with creativity, community, and survival. From the earliest days of slavery, acts of resistance were woven into daily life. Enslaved Africans held on to their languages, their songs, their spirituality. Learning to read was illegal. Teaching someone else to read was even more dangerous. Yet both happened in secret, and that quiet rebellion became the first spark of what would become a centuries long fight for freedom. Across time, Black culture reshaped America itself. The Harlem Renaissance exploded with Black voices in literature, music, and art. The birth of blues, jazz, and hip hop transformed not just entertainment, but identity. These were not just cultural movements, they were declarations of existence. In every generation, organized resistance built momentum. Institutions like the NAACP, SNCC, and the Black Lives Matter movement weren't momentary uprisings. They were sustained efforts to demand justice through strategy, sacrifice, and courage. Even in the face of generational trauma, Black Americans produced poetry that redefined literature, music that changed the world, and social movements that forced polity and minds to evolve. In spaces meant to exclude, Black communities created belonging. And this is what makes survival revolutionary. Black joy is resistance. Black art is resistance. Black survival is resistance. There would be no American democracy in its current form without the people who demanded that it live up to its own promises. The Constitution alone did not deliver freedom. It was resistance that bent it toward justice. The fight continues, but so does the strength. And this matters because it shows that American democracy has never expanded on its own. It has been forced to grow by the survival and resistance of those it was designed to exclude. Every protest, every cultural movement, every act of survival in the face of systemic violence, those are the moments that redefine who democracy includes. The Constitution did not extend freedom to all people at its creation. It was through the persistence of Black Americans, through their survival, their organizing, their refusal to disappear, that democracy was reshaped. In this way, Black survival didn't just resist oppression, it reconstructed democracy itself. So, how have the historical causes of racial inequality shaped American democracy? And in what ways have these ideas evolved from slavery to the civil rights movement? The answer isn't found in one moment, one law, or one event. It's found in a pattern of exclusion, control, and resistance. Racial inequality shaped American democracy by defining who was considered worthy of rights and who was not. From the Three-Fifths Compromise to the Fugitive Slave Clause, the Constitution enshrined slavery into the nation's foundation. The Supreme Court declared that Black people had no rights the government was bound to respect. Laws blocked access to education, the vote, and home ownership. And when those laws were challenged, new systems like redlining, mass incarceration, and voter suppression were designed to maintain the same control in different forms. So, what does that mean for democracy? It means that democracy was never equal. It was structured around inequality. But the story doesn't stop there. The evolution of American democracy, its progress, didn't come from within the government. It came from those who were never meant to have power, from enslaved people who escaped and educated themselves, from students who staged sit ins at segregated lunch counters, from marchers who faced police dogs in Selma, from mothers who buried their sons and demanded the world to take notice. The civil rights movement wasn't just about new laws. It was a demand to make democracy mean what it claimed. That pressure, through protest, organizing, and sacrifice, forced America to expand the definition of citizenship. But democracy is not self correcting, and racial inequality did not end in 1965. It continues in school funding formulas that disadvantage black communities, in voter ID laws that disproportionately block black and brown voters, in courtrooms where black defendants face harsher sentencing, in hospitals where black mothers are more likely to die giving birth. These are not remnants of the past, they are the present, which means the evolution of democracy is still happening and still being resisted. So, in the end, racial inequality didn't just influence American democracy, it created its boundaries, shaped its rules, tested its legitimacy, and through the unrelenting fight for justice, it became the force that continues to redefine it. Because this democracy is still unfinished.
Thank you for sticking with me, not just through this presentation, but through the time it took to actually finish it. I know it's a little overdue, but so was justice. What I shared isn't just history. It's truth that still echoes in our institutions, our laws, and our lives. And even though this took a while to complete, I hope it made the wait worth it. Because if there's one thing this story proves, is that change takes time. But when it finally arrives, it demands to be heard. So thank you for your time, your patience, and for walking through this unfinished freedom with me.